PR Connections Radio presents. This podcast is brought to you by NVisionU. NVisionU has discovered how to impact spirit, body, and soul with spray technology in just 30 seconds. With NVisionU, you can achieve optimal health and start living the life you have always dreamed of. Use the promo code NVisionU.com/VernDix to take control of your health naturally.
Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on where you're hearing this podcast from. Welcome to my podcast, Prospering in Health and Wealth. My name is Verner Dixon. I'm with VM Enterprise, and I am wanting to have a discussion with you about health, wealth, and wellness, and talk about how they actually interrelate with each other and can create a better environment for you, create a better work environment for you, a life situation for you, particularly if you have your health and you can focus on generating your wealth. And I think we'd have a lot to have conversations about. If you're interested, hang around and get your friends and relatives on board. And so let's get underway. Thank you. Let's go. Hello. I'll give you a second while you get the rest of the friends and relatives together, because I think this is extremely important, what I'm going to talk about today. And I'll be talking about it, and I've introduced this a few shows back, but I want to focus on it a little bit more because of the significance of what's happening with it. And what I'm talking about is plastic processing, or plastic garbage being turned into something that's usable, or plastics being turned into opportunities for income generation. And I think one of the things that you should consider as well is, if you're one of these people who gets frustrated when they see trash and stuff around and piling up, and how we try to eliminate that. And I think that's been going on for years and years and years. And I think they're moving into an area where there's more focus on it, because, as you know, I talk about the health of the body, and I talk about income generating opportunities as well. But I also want to talk about the health of our planet, which is very significant, because if we don't have a healthy planet, we're going to have some other issues. And obviously they figured that out, and they understand some of the things what's going on in that environment. And that's why they came up with the recycling systems that you see in different cities, where they have the 2 or 3 containers out for different things that are split up: plastic, paper, and foods, or whatever the other one is. I don't have that situation here where I'm living in particular, but I do see trash and those kind of things all over the place. And so as I'm looking at it and looking at that kind of messy world that we're living in, and you think about it sometimes. And then I was going through one of the companies that I work with, which is iHub Global. We try to look for opportunities that are going to do a couple of things. One, obviously, to generate an income for you, but if it can also help with the environment, or help with another process from a medical perspective, a health perspective, that's great as well. And so we tried to bring those two things to the table. And they introduced this company to us a little while ago. And the more I get involved in it, the more I look into it, the more significant it has become in my life in terms of what I'd like to do for not only myself, but planet, but the rest of the world, so to speak. And as they were showing different things in terms of, why would I be bothered with this? I mean, okay, everybody's doing this, but they've come up with a process that's innovative. They've come up with a process that falls in line with what some of the cities are doing. Actually, Las Vegas, Nevada, or Nevada in general, is looking at some options in terms of what we should be doing with waste, plastic waste, or any other things. And so people are thinking about it, and like they've got trash facilities where they come and do the dumping and still split up everything. But the plastics that are in the environment, it takes over 400 years for plastic to dissolve. And with that in mind, I'm going, thinking about the different ways of the recycling this plastic. And most of the industry is doing now is creating little pellets. They grind it up, create little pellets, and maybe use it for landfill or maybe use it for something else, but never in this particular process that I'm going to show you today. So with that in mind, the thing that got me excited about it, let me show you a couple of short clips, and you can kind of get an idea of what I'm talking about. And that way I don't have to explain everything.
Plastic waste will become a commodity, and it will become a traded commodity, exactly like metals and gold. So once this advances and we move forward towards that situation, it obviously means that we are going to start looking at the garbage differently. It's now going to have a monetary value. People won't throw the garbage away anymore. They won't throw plastic into the environment. Or even if they did, somebody now has an intention, an interest to go and
get it. Yeah.
Because now it's money.
Right.
And that's the only way to really, from the environmental point of view, to actually stop plastic waste flowing into our environment.
Right. Make it make sense.
Exactly. Yeah. Plastic waste.
And that's awesome, because you look at and see there's opportunities for earning income. And that's what began to create this industry, because there's an opportunity to earn from the income. In the regular manufacturing environments, it's carbon credits. And in this particular environment, it's plastic credits. So I think I have another little introduction for you, a little quick introduction for you. Let me see if we can get that up and give you an idea.
In other words, you could say that in 1 year alone, we are globally producing more plastic than the entire weight of the humanity. What is alarming about this is that today, 95% of all of this plastic that is being produced is not recycled in any way. Only 5% of the plastic garbage that is being produced annually gets recycled at the moment. In other words,
in other words, there's a whole bunch of trash that is left in our environment. And you've seen some of the landfills, and the landfills are filling up with all this stuff they've got. It looks like a mile high worth of trash piled up. And in that trash, there's everything that's in there, wood, plastics, all types of plastics as well. I mean, and anything else that you can find in that trash pile. And so the issue between the two scenarios is that, one, you want to clean up the planet, keep your environment clear. And you also want to make sure that you don't have to be dealing with this stuff over the years. And for me, I'm looking at this company and what they're doing and finding that it's very, very, very exciting about what they're doing. I look at it from the standpoint that on the one hand, you can earn income from this on a couple of different levels. And as we go through this and over the days and weeks and months that we'll be talking about this, because again, I think it is significant enough to have a regular conversation about this, and so that I can show you and help you to understand that not only can we help clean the planet in this new environment, in this new process, but you can also earn significant income to add to your financial legacy, as it were, because it is a long-term play, it's a long-term process. And, as I'm reading and getting more and more into this information, there's a product that's developed from the plastic that is melted, and it's called pyrolysis oil. And that oil right now, one of the biggest repurchasers of that oil is Shell Oil. And Shell is purchasing everything that they can produce, which is hundreds of thousands of liters worth of pyrolysis oil that Chevron is doing. And what they're doing is using it in their different products, and also for developing additional plastics. As I'm looking through some of this information, I'm finding out that based on some of the governments are saying that if you're manufacturing plastic products or services, 30% of that has to be reprocessed plastics. You just can't develop new plastic product and continue that way. They want you to make sure that they're trying to force you to kind of clean up the environment, process it in a way so it can get reprocessed into your production facility or process, and allows you to create a new product with that. And as I'm reading this as well, some of the companies who are doing this, for instance, there was a manufacturing company that does containers for food products. They have a food product. I don't know if it's a meat product, and they have one for bagged products as well. And so what they've done is they've indicated that we're helping to support the environment, help clean up the environment. And so they've got a label or logo on their packaging indicates that they're plastic, they're supporting the environment by reprocessing plastic and trying to take care of that. And for those who can't get the reprocessed product, they can pay for their processing issue, meaning that they can buy credits to saying that we can't do the 30% of the reprocessing or whatever, but we can also say we can contribute to the industry in processing this and give us some support if we are willing to do this. And what they're willing to do is they're saying, we want to pay something to the industry. And the industry says, if you're going to do that, then we're going to give you what we call a credit. We're going to give you a credit for your production of different products and services based on the things that you're developing or manufacturing. And so that's when the plastic credits come into view. And not only that, but you can also take advantage of these plastic credits as well. But let me look at a little bit more. Let me show you a little bit more about what's going on with that trash shelf. And let's talk about the billion-dollar industry and how it emerges.
I believe that we are going to solve the plastic waste problem globally in the next coming 30 years. Okay. And as a part of that, as in that process, plastics will become recyclable exactly like paper and glass and metal. And while that transformation is being done from sort of discarded waste into a valuable raw material, there's going to be a multi-billion-dollar industry being created. And that means that there's also going to be companies that are going to become very successful. There's going to be individuals that are going to become very successful. And we're basically talking about a brand new market emerging. I believe.
And I don't know if you heard that or kind of honed in on that. There will be companies that will become very, very, very successful in earning income on this plastic reprocessing. And they also indicated that there would be individuals that would become financially viable or wealthy based on this information. Obviously, between those two, it gave me the motivation, in addition to the fact that I'm a clean planet person, but I couldn't figure out how to do all the things I needed to do to clean it. I was doing my little bit, but it wasn't enough. And so when they said companies can become financially profitable doing this, individuals can become profitable doing this and earn a significant income, that's what increased my interest as well. Actually, it redoubled or requalified my interest in it. And so it gave me additional motivation to want to make sure that I participated in this process. So what I've done thus far is I've actually purchased some of those credits myself. Those credits go towards the cleaning up of the planet. I don't have a production facility here in Las Vegas, but they're wanting Corsair, the company that's doing this, wants to put in a plant in every country, in every state. In this case, for us, in every state. And right now, one of the states that's really looking at some things is Texas. So it may be here sooner than later. And so that's why I would like for you to get interested in a couple of things: helping to clean the planet, and two, earning some income while you're doing it. I mean, if you're out having conversation with folks and they talk about different things, and throw in, what do you do with your plastic, or how does that manage, or depending on what type of business you're in, going to different manufacturing facilities and talking to them about how they're doing their production process, how do they get rid of their scraps and those pieces, and what are they doing to support or help clean the planet as well. So those are conversations that you can have not only with individuals, but also with companies out there as well. I mean, I've done some research, and in terms of, obviously I live here in Las Vegas, Nevada. Maybe it's not obvious, but I live here in Las Vegas, Nevada. And so I've done some research in terms of the manufacturing facilities that are using plastic or manufacturing plastic, who in the state and the departments that are involved in helping to clean the planet, or helping to clean Las Vegas, or helping to clean Nevada in general, and what are they doing about it? And so I'm reaching out to those entities as well, talking to companies about the process of purchasing these credits to offset the plastic that they're producing at their location. So there's several of them here in Las Vegas. There's more, obviously, in Nevada in general. But I don't have to just stay here in the state. I can go anywhere in the country and have this same conversation. You know, with technology being what it is, you can do that. And so I'm having a really great time in terms of making these things happen. Let's take a look at a little bit the next thing. I mean, these things have just gotten me interested, and so I want to share them with you.
I'm sure we all know that plastic waste is a major global problem. But exactly how big? Well, let's break this one down. First of all, the global production of new plastic has now reached levels of almost 500 million metric tons per year. That doesn't necessarily say much, but let's compare it to something. When you, for example, look at the combined weight of every single human being on the planet, which is about 350 million metric tons, now that starts to give you an idea of the scale of the problem. In other words, you could say that in 1 year alone, we are globally producing more plastic than the entire weight of the humanity. What is alarming about this is that today, 95% of all of this plastic that is being produced is not recycled in any way. Only 5% of the plastic garbage that is being produced annually gets recycled at the moment. This means that 95% of all of this garbage ends up either in the landfills, getting burned, or worst of all, it leaks into our oceans. To make the matters even worse, it has been projected that the production of plastic is going to triple in the next 30 years. This is primarily due to the growth of the middle class, especially in regions such as Asia, Africa, Middle East, and Latin America. People with new and additional money to be spent want to have their products and services closer to them. This means that people will no longer go to the local market to buy their products, their vegetables and fruits in a bamboo basket, for example, but instead will be buying these from the convenience stores and supermarkets where all the products are wrapped in plastic. This means that the plastic pollution problem that we are encountering around the world today is only going to get worse. We have today only scratched the surface of the problem. With the current global recycling rate of plastic being as low as 5% only, with the increase in production, this means that if we don't urgently focus into building of a global plastic waste recycling infrastructure, the 5% global recycling rate will soon become 4% and even lower. That means that we urgently need to take action to tackle this problem. Otherwise, we are literally going to be drowned under all of this plastic garbage.
Wow. I mean, that gives you additional input in terms of how severe this issue or this problem is, and what is being done to help clean it up. 500 million metric tons per year. And then there's more than that when obviously you do the entire planet, but I mean, metric tons, that's a lot. And they're only processing or recycling 5% of that. 95% of that stuff is still filling up those yards. If you think about some of the areas, even here in Las Vegas, they've moved it now in terms of the facility that processed garbage for Las Vegas. At least they're expanding it. And they've had one over off of anyway, on the west side of town. And so that wasn't big enough, so they had to expand that, and they continue to do so. And so there is an opportunity that's getting more and more significant. And I guess the reason that I'm trying to share it with you is that if you want your planet to be clean, if you're into the health of not only yourself, your family, and your planet, here's an opportunity to participate in the planet cleanup. Bring these processing facilities closer to our environment so that we can benefit from it, significantly benefit from it over time. So this is something that's going to be, it's not a fly-by-night organization. They've been actually officially up and running since 2002. They were actually putting some things together before then, but they're continuing to expand. And like I indicated before, I mean, Texas is looking at some things. At least one of the partners in my group is talking to the folks in Texas about this as well. So again, there are significant opportunities to get out there and do this. Let me tell you what they're doing with the oil, and I'll show you one more video for that before we get out of here today.
The pyrolysis oil that is produced by Corsair is considered by our customers in the petrochemical industry to be the highest quality pyrolysis oil on the market today. This is a result of a product development process that took us at Corsair for more than 2 years to achieve. The product that we produce from plastic garbage, the pyrolysis oil, can be used in the production of fuels. It can easily be refined to become your commercial standard gasoline, diesel, or jet fuel. But even more importantly, it can also be used by the petrochemical industry to produce new plastic products. Corsair is very honored and proud to say that already for more than 2 years, since the beginning of 2023, we have been working in close collaboration with Shell, who today is our primary off-taker for our pyrolysis oil product. What is done with the product once we have created it from plastic pollution is that this pyrolysis oil is used by our customers to create new, more environmentally friendlier and circular plastics, something which the new regulations already in place and coming over the next couple of years are now requiring from the plastic manufacturing industry. What does it mean is that companies are able to finally start using products which have been made from recycled old plastic. In other words, an old plastic bag is converted by Corsair into oil, and then that oil can be made into new plastic products. This will lead into more sustainable, greener and cleaner environment. And our belief is that plastics in the future will become recycled exactly in the same way how we are today recycling paper, glass, and metal. It is going to take time. With the increasing amount of plastic pollution in the world, there's a lot of work to be done. Eventually, the plastic waste problem will be solved through global collaboration with a number of stakeholders that are coming to collaborate together. Eventually, with advanced recycling methods like what Corsair is doing with pyrolysis, we will finally be able to solve the global plastic waste crisis. We believe this to take time. It's not going to happen overnight. With the growth of our recycling industry, eventually plastic waste will become a traded commodity, exactly like rice, like metal, like gold. I would like to paint a picture for you here where in the future these mountains of garbage will turn into mountains of gold.
That right there is the one that kind of tweaked my interest even more so because of the future of this particular process and what's going on. Like you said, I mean, there are other facilities that process paper. There's processing glass and also metals. And so now, and then the ones that manufacture, they create smoke in the area. So those are carbon credits. But this plastic credit is significant because there's so much work to do. And there's so much work to do. And there are companies that are registering to get involved in this organization. My organization that I'm involved in, we have a little over 1 million representatives in the organization. And so it's been introduced to all of us. I mean, everybody is not going to do it. I didn't think everybody doesn't do everything that we bring to the table. But it was significant enough where enough people are interested. And so I felt that it was a requirement for me to not only take care of myself and what I'm trying to do and help me feel better about myself and the planet, my health and finances and some other things, but I wanted to share that as well. And so that's what this program is allowing me to do, is helping me to spread the word and share this information with other individuals who may or may not have been introduced to this in some other way or some other fashion. And so if you're interested, obviously reach out to me. I have information. This at some point will be on YouTube. It'll be on LinkedIn, Facebook, because of my sites up there. And my podcast is also submitted to YouTube after they play. And so there's information that can be found out. At least you can contact me on any of those areas, as well as PR connections and PR communications as well. And again, I hope you understand and realize what the options and opportunities are that I try to bring to the table. In particular, this one, especially if you're a person who wants to make sure that the planet is clean in addition to yourself. Remember, I was telling you, well, maybe you don't remember, but there's enough plastic in our environment where each of us has enough plastic in our bodies to make a whole plastic spoon. I don't know how big the spoon will be, but it's a plastic spoon. And so we need to get rid of that. But in the meantime, we're out of time today. Like I said, reach out to me if you want some more information from not only this product, but other things that I've talked about and other issues, or just call me. We can have a conversation about life in general. But with that in mind, I want you to continue to be blessed and understand, like I'm saying, the best is yet to come. Thank you. Have a blessed day. Bye-bye.
PR Connections Radio thanks you for watching this podcast. Check out more episodes of this show and our others at prconnectionsradio.com.